am the Irish guy, and that's recently. I did a video looking at the Premier League table, which I predicted back in 2019, where I stupidly looked 5 years into the future. As if I'm some sort of psychic. Who did I think I was? Charles Xavier? According to this absolute potato-brained milkshake, I said that Chelsea would be champions in May. Yeah, I did the championship table in 5 years back then too. So let's just see if those predictions were anywhere near as bad.
Predicting the state of the scarf on 5 years next.
Yeah, same scarf. It does indeed look disgusting. Oh, by the way, lads, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, trying to beat Anfield Agenda. But if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, you absolute legends. Right, let's go.
24th Bolton. Yeah, I'm predicting another painful relegation, but lads, I'm offering you 24th in the championship. You should be snapping my arm off.
You know what? Bolton could feasibly finish 24th in the championship next season. Right now, they are 3rd in League One. So really, they're only 3 places off what I predicted nearly half a decade ago. Yes, they have fallen so far from the team who used to take results off Bayern Munich and Atletico Madrid. And yes, things have been so non-eventful and boring at this ground recently, they'll probably wind up having to stick a statue of Fogden outside the ground. Honestly, he's more famous than any of their players. How depressing is that? But yeah, I was wrong. Next.
23rd Swansea. Yeah, Swansea fans are going to think I just hate their club and want to see it burned to the ground. But I just think in 5 years, yeah, relegation to League One.
Lads, this wasn't even that horrible of a prediction. I said that Swansea would finish in the championship relegation zone. What I said was probably hateful in the eyes of Swansea fans. I might as well have walked into the town square and did a poo on a bunch of Gavin and Stacey DVDs whilst wearing a t-shirt with Roger Giggs' face on the front. But as it stands, Swansea are just 5 points clear of second bottom in the championship. 5 points. That's all it is.
22nd Burton Albion. Yeah, Clough will probably still be there into his 21st season at the club. Christ, get that man a statue just like his dad.
No, Burton Albion's manager is not Nigel Clough. It's Martin Patterson. Don't feel embarrassed. I didn't either. Sadly, they're actually 19th in League One and are on a wretched run. It's all a bit blah.
21st Sheffield United. I just think Sheffield United are a bit of a yo-yo club. I'm predicting that in a year or two, Chris Wilder's going to leave you for someone like Everton. You'll be stripped off your best players and back down the leagues you go.
Everton. I said Chris Wilder would join Everton. The club who back then were coaxing Cardiff and Ancelotti off the couch. I mean, to be fair, if Wilder had not had that absolutely rotten second season in the Premier League, screwing up all of his brilliant work and forcing his next job to be lowly Middlesbrough in the Championship, if he had walked away from Bramall Lane with his head held high after leading them to 9th in the Premier League, he probably would have got an Everton job. Or a Tottenham job. I mean, both clubs are fighting over Nuno Espirito Santo back then. Both he and Wilder would have been in the same box. But yeah, nowadays, I mean, football chairmen would probably rather chew worms out of their dog's belly button than dare to give this down-in-the-dumps geezer a ring. Look, I was basically inferring that Sheffield United would be in a relegation battle, losing most of their games by now. And they are. It's just that I'm an entire league out.
Nah, if anything, I can see Sheffield United going on the up. A bit like how Wolves have done. They have a fantastic setup and made some great moves in the transfer market.
Who wants to tell him?
20th Salford City. Lads, hear me out, alright? Momentum is so important in this sport. Because of the class of 92, Salford are one of the most publicised clubs in the lower leagues. All eyes are on them. Their pull power has been massively increased.
Salford City. 20th in the championship. Look, 5 years ago, okay, Salford had momentum, flying high under a celebrity ownership group. They were what Wrexham are now, just without the Disney doc. Honestly, lads, forget the fact that that club have Deadpool at the wheel. The most shocking thing to me is that they have a striker up front who nearly signed for Real Madrid. Yeah, Stephen Fletcher looks like the Scottish version of Dumbo, but back at Hibernian 15 years ago, apparently he had scouts from the Bernabeu salivating into the shepherd's pie over him. But listen, Salford are a bit of a neglected puppy right now. I mean, look at their class of 92 owners. David Beckham and Phil Neville are both in America and probably don't even want Salford updates on their phone. Do you really think Beckham is going to interrupt lunch with Messi to hear about whether or not they'll be jilling him away? Gary Neville is clearly suffocated by having 1,000 jobs a week. There's such a point where I wouldn't be surprised if his bored wife has started an affair with the bloke who cleans their 9 toilets. Nicky Butt is the only one who still has time for Salford, and it's never gonna work. It's like if Niall Horan was the only one who bothered to turn up to One Direction rehearsals. Yeah, you're obviously all gonna sound like a bunch of disorganized pregnant cats at your concert in China next week. Salford are very average.
19th Lincoln City. Again, Lincoln are another club on the rise. I think things look good for Lincoln. I'm expecting championship football within 5 years.
Nope. Lincoln have massively stagnated. They have not climbed their way out of League One over the last 5 years. Not at all. Yes, they are on a great run of form now. The players have clearly eaten their Weetabix after a horrible Christmas where they lost 40 games in a row. They're now looking good, banging in goals, but they're still 9th in League One. I mean, am I gonna get any of these right?
18th Blackburn. I feel bad for Blackburn. The last decade has been the most sterile, uncomfortable, drab few seasons at Ewood Park.
Look! Look where they are. Look where they are. Look where Blackburn are. I know the season isn't over yet, and this table will change once again in 2 days' time, but I don't care. Look where they are in the table. They're 18. They are 18. They are actually 18. Yeah, I sound like DiCaprio when he realizes all his waiting has paid off. That was very creepy. Lads, Blackburn are in hideous peril. I'm not sure how they nearly knocked Newcastle out of the FA Cup because they've only won 1 of the last 16 league games. Their exciting young, hungry manager John Dahl Tomasson has since given up on them, ditching them for the Sweden job. I mean, considering he is a living Denmark legend, aren't Sweden supposed to be his deadly rivals? Is it not like a cannibal Viking going to work for an opposing tribe? Yeah, it's going to be awkward when he's now invading his own hometown and being forced to eat his own mum's eyeballs in a stew. But lads, I'm pleased with this. I've actually, for the time being, got one right.
17th Cardiff. Well, Cardiff fans be happy with this. Stock halfway down the championship table in 5 years' time. No, I would say if you offer this prospect to most Cardiff fans, they would probably get sick in their mouth.
Well, Cardiff fans, are you sick in your mouth? Yeah, I said you'd be 17th. To be fair, they just woken up to win 4 games in a row, meaning that you are up as high as 11th. But if you had lost those 4 games, then you would be 17th. So I've got it wrong, but it's not completely horrible.
16th Birmingham. You've proven that you're the experts at self-sabotage when things are going well, like sacking Gary Rowett on the verge of the playoffs, before welcoming an incoming relegation battle with the employment of Gianfranco Zola. Where was the sense in that? In 5 years, nothing will have changed. Your best players will continue to be flogged to the highest bidder, and you'll be back to boring your old fans to tears with uninspired finishes halfway down the league.
Yes! 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 I said that Birmingham were the experts of self-sabotage when things are going well. That is exactly what they did this season. Ditching manager John Eustace when they were in the playoff spots, bringing in bedraggled MLS misfit Wayne Rooney. Someone who seems more interested in drunkenly trying to box KSI than creating an actually successful coaching career. He was clearly a wet dustbin of a coach. His replacement, Tony Mowbray, has been taken ill. So right now, your interim boss is somebody called Steve Spooner. He just sounds like a cartoon character. I'm half expecting him to have been drawn by some Pixar nerd. I said 16th. Instead, you're 21st and on the verge of relegation. Honestly, if Rooney is partly responsible for relegating both Derby County and Birmingham City from the Championship, 2 teams who I remember going down together from the Premier League, the same month Rooney was winning the Champions League, oh, he's probably going to feel more embarrassed than any time he's forced to make small talk with Jamie Vardy in the middle of Morrison's.
15th Hull City. Yeah, 5 years' time, Hull City will be 15th in the Championship. You'll be hoping for promotion back to the Premier League. Maybe more FA Cup finals. Being able to hold on to Jared Bowen past this summer.
15th. Nope. Hull are 7th? How? They're now one of the form teams in the Championship. They've got Portuguese wonderkid Fabio Carvalho in their team. They've got a midfielder John Sarri, who was once on Barcelona's shopping list. Their veteran striker Billy Sharp began this season playing up front with Chicharito in the same town as Hollywood. For Hull standards, this is a surprisingly glamorous playing squad.
14th Watford. There's a shocker. Not only are Watford not battling to survive in the Premier League, I have them punted 14th in the Championship. Listen, lads, it happens, right? And in my book, if you're struggling to keep your head above water in the top flight, you're eventually going to get relegated.
Look! 14th. This is not a drill. 14th. Watford are 14th in the Championship. When I made this video, they were a comfortable, fairly steady Premier League unit who had just reached an FA Cup final. The fact that I've successfully predicted them to be 14th in the Championship, at least for now, oh wow! Although, to be fair, the Pozzos have ruthlessly sacked Valerian Ismail and given Tom Cleverley the job as interim head coach. Puzzling. If I am the Pozzos, I am straight on the phone to Rafa Benitez, who just lost his job at Celta Vigo. I mean, he is a glamorous, star-quality manager who, don't forget, has weirdly managed in the Championship before and won the thing with Newcastle, and that was just a year after taking the Real Madrid job. So he clearly doesn't think this league is beneath him. I genuinely believe that a 63-year-old Benitez at Watford, he'd get them promoted next year. Get Rafa now.
13th Ipswich. Yeah, I realise Ipswich are currently in the 3rd tier of English football, but lads, Paul Lambert is getting them promoted, and I'm predicting mid-table in 5 years. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it actually seems pretty easy to recover from relegation to League One. Just ask Norwich, Southampton, and Sheffield United.
Mid-table in 5 years. No, they're third in the Championship. On one hand, though, I was right. It clearly is easier to recover from relegation to League One. You'll be fine. But don't pat me on the back too much, because this is what I predicted for Ipswich at the start of this season.
24th Ipswich Town. Does anybody really think that a team sponsored by Ed Sheeran are going to survive the Championship? Nah, just stick to writing songs for Beauty and the Beast, mate. And, I don't know, eating cupcakes and hating the sun. Because this season is going to be an absolute mess for your football club. But I do think this Ipswich project absolutely gets flattened this season. I don't know, but when Ipswich are rock bottom by Christmas, does an experienced 37-year-old from Fermanagh really know what to do? Really? Are you actually confident being saved by an ex-Tottenham under-18s coach?
Yeah, The entire Ipswich success story is making me look like a clown with mashed potato between the ears. That's the last time I disrespect this former Manchester United coach from Fermanagh. Honestly, this summer, if they get promoted, I'm going to be cursing McKenna more than the club after that Goldberg interview.
12th Fleetwood Town. Yeah, why not? In 5 years' time, Fleetwood Town. Why not? Why not 12th in the championship? Go on.
12th in the championship. No, try 22nd in League One. Next.
11th Norwich. Well, we all know Norwich are getting relegated this season, paving the way forward for them to go back to doing what they do best, slumming it halfway down the championship.
Nope. Norwich are not 11th. They're actually 6th in the championship under David Wagner. You know, the man who always copies Klopp. Yes, I realise that they are best friends. But was I the only one who found it creepy that they both switched to contact lenses at the same time? Honestly, now that Klopp is leaving Liverpool, would not be shocked to find out that his mini clone has also decided to take up gardening for a year. Wagner looks like someone who'd probably spend an hour happily rifling through Klopp's bins just so he can sniff one of his socks or lick his empty box of Cocoa Pops. But no, Norwich are 6th. They might actually come back up. This would be the 6th different time that I have seen them promoted to the Premier League. You know what? I'm good.
10th Blackpool. Yeah, why not? Let's just give Blackpool something to cheer about.
Everyone happy with that? But no, they're 7th in League One. I'm wrong. Shock.
9th Derby County. In 5 years, they'll probably be 9th in the league, with the short-lived Wayne Rooney era a distant memory of the past, where the club's chairman still probably having to deal with Richard Keogh's lawyer.
9th in the league? No. To be fair, they are recovering well from their financial devastation from a couple of years ago. They're 2nd in League One, probably will be back in the championship next season. It's a slow recovery, but they're getting there. I didn't have a clue that this happened, but a couple of weeks ago, they signed Dwight Gale. Considering this man was an absolutely lethal championship goal machine striker for Newcastle, then to have this goal poacher at 34 in League One, is this not one of the most incredible signings in the Football League this season?
8th Brentford. Yeah, in 5 years' time, still no promotion for Brentford. Lads, I meant what I said in the summer. Every year, Brentford are the hipster choice for promotion. And guess what? It never happens. Honestly, lads, I'm not worried about their position in the league. No, if they go up, I will get that tattoo, but it's not happening. Not this year or any other. So please, Brentford, stop whining in my mentions.
Thankfully, Brentford did not go up that season. Or yeah, I'd have had to get a Pontus Jansson tattoo. Everyone remember that? Lads, I cut it close. Brentford bottled automatic promotion on the final day, losing in the last minute to relegation threatened Barnsley. Sorry, after recently winning 8 games in a row across that weird summer of 2020, then this Barnsley intervention was a miracle, and the B squad were clearly so shell-shocked they then went to bottle the playoff final against Fulham. Thank you, Joe Bryan. I remember how nervous I was watching that match. But no, Brentford went up the following year and are currently 15th in the Premier League, so very wrong.
7th Southampton. Yeah, I know Southampton are one of the form clubs in the Premier League right now. Great. It doesn't last forever. Southampton have proven in the past, even when things are looking up, they're just a few moments from a potential meltdown. Things can change on the South Coast very quickly.
I'm pleased with this one. When I made this video, Southampton were a steady, solid, mid-table Premier League club. Nobody thought they'd be down within 5 years. I did. To be fair, you are doing better than 7th, currently 4th in the table, and despite a recent wobble, the Saints are having a great season. But yeah, I was wrong.
6th Portsmouth. Yeah, Southampton fans are going to absolutely hate me. Lads, I don't know about the rest of you, but I want Portsmouth back in the Premier League. So hopefully you're back on the right track, and yeah, sneak into a championship playoff spot in a few years.
Portsmouth better come up this year. They have been trapped in League One for the last 7 years. They are in the promotion hunt each and every season, and yet they never come up. They're top of League One, so come on. I want to see this club back in the Premier League one day. Come on, John Messina, just get them over the line. I know, this was very wrong.
5th Stoke. In 5 years, do I think Michael O'Neill will still be at Stoke? Not a hope. How many managers get 5 years on a job? But I think he'll steady the ship, leave you in a much better position than when he first arrived.
When I made this video, Stoke had just appointed Northern Ireland boss Michael O'Neill with the club sitting bottom of the championship. Yeah, he was sacked nearly 3 years later with the club third bottom of the championship. So technically, he did leave them in a better position. But lads, now they're 19th. Lads, I'm gonna say this. Ever since 2017, Stoke City have been the most depressing team in England to support. There was a horrible relegation for the Premier League, but ever since then, just finishing 16th, 15th, 14th, 14th, 16th, and now 19th in the Championship. Boring!
4th, Crystal Palace. Look, I know Palace have consolidated themselves as a mid-table club, but 5 years is long enough for Roy Hodgson to retire, Wilfred Zaha to leave, leading to a mass exodus. 4th in the Championship seems about right.
How? How are Crystal Palace still in the Premier League? Yes, Hodgson did retire and then weirdly came back, but only to retire again. But Zaha is also gone. I was right about that. Did not really think he'd go to Galatasaray. Lads, this club have since discovered a bunch of saucy street ballers, and if Oliver Glasner keeps them up this season, that'll be 12 Premier League seasons in a row for Crystal Palace. Who thought that was in the club's future when Ian Holloway squeaked them up through the playoffs in 2013?
3rd, Bournemouth. For those Bournemouth fans clearly miffed at me putting you in the Championship, lads, this is pretty optimistic for you. 3rd in the Championship, take it. Because really, lads, once Eddie Howe leaves your club, you could really plummet through the divisions.
What happened to me? 5 years ago, I thought that giving Bournemouth third in the championship was me doing them a favour, that they'd be plummeting through the division soon. Yeah, it's 5 years later, and I now think 2024 is going to be their year. I think Antonio Iraola is eventually going to have them playing in Europe. Why? Why was I so pessimistic about them back then? That when Eddie Howe left, it would be curtains for the club. No, this is a club that was actually so well run. They even went up with a soggy weasel like Scott Parker in charge. Wow.
Second, Nottingham Forest. Finally, Nottingham Forest finally get promoted.
Yeah, I really thought I was doing something here. Being the first one to finally predict a Nottingham Forest promotion. Now, they went up sooner than that?
First, Fulham. Yeah, Fulham fans will be happy. In 5 years' time, still in the championship. But not necessarily, lads. I think you'll get promoted before then as well. But clearly from your last two attempts on the top flight, you have no idea what to do once you get there. I mean, for Christ's sake, you went through 6 different managers. And guess what? You were relegated both times.
I was 2 years out. Yes, back in 2019, I said the Fulham would go up and then come back down and then win the championship title. They did just that. They did all of that between 2020 and 2022. Marcus Silva lifted the title with 90 points. Just like with Forest, my timing is wrong because instead, they're currently 12th in the Premier League. Oh, goody. Anyway, that's the end of it. Let me know in the comments. How bad was that? How bad? Was that worse than the Premier League one? Let me know in the comments. I think it was pretty bad. Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I'll talk to you in a while.